full on present, full on in uncertainty. Feels like I'm learning to walk again. Feels really raw, painful. Yeah, sort of a new realization of what is actually being alive is. Feeling the fear, feeling the anger, feeling the sadness. Everything is like so intense inside, really chaotic, and a very intense journey of like all constructs are breaking down again. Realization of the way I was imprisoning myself without even knowing that. Realization that on the journey, on the path of trying to transcend this experience of being this spiritual being in the human body and becoming this spiritual perfectionist persona, living in the fantasy of what being spiritual is. Wow. Feeling tears right now because it is painful how, even in the seeking of something so beautiful like divine nature and having this really meeting God and having these divine experiences, but how still of a fantasy this can be, how still delusional this can be of, yeah, I'm talking about my own experience of becoming this spiritual perfectionist of how I should talk, how I should be, there's like a spiritual fantasy of what being enlightened, being spiritual is. There's this fantasy which is like breaking down into tiny pieces of, I'll even read this out. I did this thing of trying to write everything down of what spiritual enlightened conscious persona, sort of map of the mind, the rules, beliefs, ideas, stories I have and the mind formed throughout the years of how I should live if I want to be spiritual. And yeah, and those rules from the mind are not feeling anger or fear at all. That was like the opposite of what being spiritual is. So I would not allow myself to feel anger or fear because that's not conscious. And I always need to feel chill and joyful. That was like the absolute like mindset. If I feel other way, that's I'm doing something wrong. I need to fix it. I need to read more books. I need to meditate more to stop feeling all these feelings because that's ain't good. And that's imprisonment. I was literally putting myself into this prison of just not allowing myself to be alive because there was this fantasy of what I needed to be. I need to accept everyone as they are. Let each soul to walk its path. I need to wake up early, meditate, always clean and organize the space around me, talking in a calm, loving voice with everyone, sitting with my back straight, always be in silence, don't watch movies and videos, read spiritual and self-improvement books at all times, always be confident, always be warm and loving, smile, practice every morning. Remember that everyone is divine and on their divine journeys, so I have to do everything to accept them and love them unconditionally. I must love unconditionally. I have to be kind and loving and being available for everyone at all times. I have to eat only pure, high quality foods to be connected with God. I need to fast more often. I have to do cleanses a couple times a year. I have to reply to my parents' messages right away. I have to be supportive of people around me. I have to care and heal people around me. I have to be outside more no matter on the weather. I have to do cold plunges to be stronger and healthier. I have to take a bunch of supplements to be healthy. Yeah, there's so many rules like that. You know, there's tons of rules and beliefs we create for our lives. Even all the even if I still agree that yes, I need to eat pure and I want to eat pure high quality foods, and you know, I want to do cold plunges, you know, like this. Yes, it is valid points, but I don't need logical justification of these points when sort of these rules, beliefs are when they become how I validate my worth, how I validate myself. That becomes imprisonment. That became imprisonment for me, and I wasn't aware about it till a couple months ago. Oh, yeah. No, it's been a year of universe is literally showing me little by little of where I'm imprisoning myself still, and I've been asking for it actively, and now it just like hit me in the face so strongly, broke all these constructs down. And when I'm trying to live without those rules, sort of trying to see what is beyond that, what is actually me, and not that image of spiritual, connected, kind and loving Diana, which is also real, but without imprisonment of the mind. What am I? Like, what is this? I even don't have, I used to have this feeling when I'm trying to connect to myself, and I feel like this strong connection here. Now I have emptiness there. Like, it's so empty. That's so unusual. I'm waking up daily. I have so much fear in every single moment, because I don't have any scripts have to live anymore. Like, things are not rehearsed anymore, it feels like every interaction with human, I'm like so vulnerable in my chaos, in how raw I am of like discovering what actually being authentic is, beyond everything I learn and everything beyond everything, what it is being me. And I embrace this pain, I embrace this fear, I embrace this anger I'm feeling. And there's a strong realization of, oh my god, that's what life is. That's what being alive actually is. Feeling all these feelings and being in a full uncertainty. I have no idea anymore about anything. Like at the farm where I live, we have these workshops which are help us to be guided through this self-discovery of our true nature. And we were doing this experiment. I don't remember, like 1 month ago. Just what if we wake up one day, tomorrow, and we don't have to understand anything anymore? What if we just don't need to understand anything anymore? Because the mind always trying to understand something, always trying to analyze something. Oh, how do I manage this? Oh, how do I stop feeling this? Or how do I fix this? Or there's lots of trying to understand lots of things. And when we did that experiment, and we're still, like, till this day, each of us are trying to be as present as possible with all the intensity of all these emotions as possible. And I'll speak about my own experience of how raw and scary it is, because yeah, I don't have any image anymore. It's like very scary. First weeks I was feeling so much anger towards everyone, and I try to isolate myself because how raw and vulnerable, that's such a vulnerable place. Is I feel like a little frightened kitten, and like the little kid who just like learns to speak and walk again. It's incredible. It's so unknown. I have no idea about anything anymore, and that feels so alive. For many years I didn't know that feeling fear and anger is being alive, sort of. For me it was based on I grew up. Based on how I grew up, anger is very unconscious, it's very dangerous, it's unhealthy, etc., etc. There's so many stories which, yes, all those emotions can be expressed absolutely freaking unconsciously and dangerously. But now I perceive them as information, as something that, oh my god, my nervous system, the intelligence of my being is telling me what's happening. Fear is telling me about, like, that's like basic survival sort of orientation, navigation. I'm sensing fear. Oh, somebody's might be here in the forest, or I'm sensing fear. Like, it's just such a natural thing, but we're like, I was so numb to it, you know. I was like strictly labeling that feeling, all those feelings, is not alive, is not enlightened, is not being centered, is not being grounded. But now I learned to be grounded through all of those feelings, through all this fear, and it feels, I'm like, I can literally be like I can't even explain. It's just this chaos happening. The deeper realization of the insanity of the mind. How insane our minds are. It's just fucked up. Fucked up. I don't want to live like this anymore. I want to be so alive. I want to be touched by life. And I am. I know I am. I want to allow myself to be alive. Yes. I want to allow myself and not listen to these stories and fantasies of the mind, which the mind creates, of what being kind is, what being loving is. It's so fucking fantasies. I don't want to live in those fantasies anymore. I want to be real. I want to be raw. I want to be with all of it. Yes. I want to be with all of it. Just allowing myself to be with all of it. This raw human experience is becoming human, is again realizing, oh yeah, I'm a human. Oh my god, I'm a human. For real. Oh, wow. Are you kidding me? I forgot that I'm a human. yeah, this remembrance of uh, definitely still feeling this ingrained in my mind of this perfectionism about anything. Being more sort of conscious, aware of like the needs, like tiny, not needs, it's called, tiny things that I think should be done this way or that way, and my system still gets irritated when things are not done this or that way. It's just like so many things life is showing me, especially living in the community. It's wow. All right, wow. Yeah, is being in the fire. And my dear friend Brianne, she said, and yes, you can be in this fire, like in this craziness, chaos, but you can be this eye of in the fire, like eye of the thunder. How she eye of the storm, she says. Like through all of it, you can still like be grounded and centered. And I'm learning this through just being present, through just being me, through being raw, imperfect. It is a very vulnerable experience. I don't think I ever been this vulnerable in my life. It feels so pure and so chaotic. So, yeah, like very chaotic. Each moment, so many feelings gets activated, and then you're like, oh, is it a feeling in the moment or that's emotion, like trigger from the past? You know, like, but then I don't need to understand this anymore. I just can be. I had many years of trying to understand things. I had many years of trying to be perfect and lived in the fantasy. Yeah, I'm just being with what is right now, and which is unknown, which is present, raw, uncertain in every single moment. I was doing this experiment, if this might help anyone. Sort of stopping experiment for 2 weeks, stopping all my rules of this perfect spiritual persona. So every single moment, every single interaction, to learn to live again in a way, I was stopping, waiting, being silent, breathing, coming back to center, and then let's say replying to somebody, like what is actually alive in here, what is not rehearsed phrase of say something or acting a specific kind, nice, whatever way the label is. So it's just feeling in what is actually real here, what feelings are really present. And it can be expressed or not. I can just be silent, or I can just say, I don't want to talk right now, or I don't need to know in the moment as well. I just, okay, you don't know, and you just flow with it. You just, okay. Like, I'm not obligated to reply to anything. I'm not obligated to get hooked to any conversation or, yeah. Because I lost myself playing this game, in this act of fantasy, spiritual persona. And this experiment is very awkward, which is also a label, but it feels so new. As I said, it feels like a little kid learning to walk again. because like you say things that you never said before, because like you're out of your books, out of anything. Everything feels new from that place. The understanding of what actually being in the present moment is actually fully feeling that everything feels new in every single moment. Without any scripts, without any assumptions and stories about others or myself or anything. And the crazy thing that the mind will start to get even more active. Because I'm writing here observation. When I feel unfamiliar, new state of being arising, feeling myself in the moment differently. And that is the mind says, oh, I'm doing something wrong. Oh, is this enough? Is this really me? And the mind, like this gremlin type of entity, was trying to put me in the comfort zone again. Like I never experienced this self-doubt, like the least confidence I ever had in my whole life. I never felt that. There was like chaos, like the insanity of the mind. It's just like and the mind was telling me that I'm not radiant anymore because I'm in this chaos, etc., etc. There's like so many unkind things. My mind was never that unkind to me in my whole life as throughout this experiment. And being in this chaos and just being this eye of the storm is just, it's like this. Oh my god! Ah! Oh. And I still can't recognize myself at all. I don't even know what to recognize. I don't I sincerely have no idea anymore. And I'm just flying into this unknown moment by moment. I have no idea how it's gonna be in the future. The mind is definitely actively comparing me in the past, the version of me in the past. Oh, you had more joy. Or remember, oh, it's been a while since you laughed at all, you know, like really laughed, you know, like so hard. The mind just doing its thing, you know? And I just gotta be, alright? Alright? Uh-huh. Beautiful trees. I'm so allowed to be a mess, so what? I'm allowed to not have anything figured out and know and understand anything. I want to be my pure nature. No need to look or be perceived in a specific way. I'm tired of this shit. Even noticing some discomfort, disgust, shame, playing this game of pretending. I'm allowed to expose all my mess. And it's okay to be here. It is so okay to be here. Yeah, and also like how crazy it always feels that I learned this or that skill and practiced this or that somehow, but then in new chapters, in new versions of me, saying me feels really weird as well. Yeah, similar skills feels hard and new again. It's literally again, it's like lifelong journey of
ending life and experiencing this human experience. Well,